What's up, everybody? It's Happy Chat Monday, the prequel. Thanks for everybody coming by. I appreciate it. Thank you, Joseph, for being able to log in. This was just an impromptu little discussion that I wanted to have today. We had such a great discussion last night. I was on. If you haven't checked it out, check out Nicotina's show from last night. We had Prime on. We had Ryan Rivera on. Nicotina, of course, was there. But we had a great discussion about Ray Fisher and the things going on at Warner Media, Warner Brothers, and all that. And I have to put this up real quick. I made this. Boom.
Doomsday is coming for Warner Brothers.
He's coming for Warner Brothers. He's coming hard. So that didn't sound right. Okay, so anyway, let's get to the chat, shall we? And see who is here today. Got yes, Matt might show up. He said that he might pop in. We shall see. I did send him the link. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. And oh yeah. So he was wearing this shirt yesterday, which is the one we're promoting.
Man, I'm still waiting on mine. Once it gets here, dude, I'm going to be wearing it all the time.
Yes, I
can't wait.
It's friggin' awesome. It's great material that these guys use. I really like it. It's not jersey material, but I mean it's better than just regular t-shirt material like I got here. But it's just it's really nice.
I'm thinking I might get mine before. I'm thinking I might get mine before the end of the week, hopefully.
Yeah, and I mean,
I ordered it.
Got hers pretty
last
quick.
Week. Yeah.
I mean, a lot quicker than I got mine. When I had ordered mine, because mine was the sample. When I ordered mine, they were like, "Oh yeah, due to COVID, you might get yours sometime this year." So I was like, "Oh, okay, great." Let's see. Hey, yeah, that was me. Bad Dan is 100% sober today, and we appreciate that.
Oh wow, no angry orchards right now. It's too early for that.
Let's see. In honor of Ray Fisher, I dedicate a question. My question to him: would you prefer Ray Fisher to get 3 movies or a miniseries? Oh, okay, a movie or 3 movies.
I want him to get a miniseries on HBO Max. I think that's where he's fitting in with Warner Media, especially with what's going on now with Warner Brothers. I think Warner Brothers is going to be reluctant to put him in anything that he's not already contracted.
I think his home is going to be HBO Max. Warner Max is going to produce, whatever it is. I also think that will benefit him as a performer, as an artist, because it will be more than just a movie. It'll be a mini series and allow him and usually in miniseries, you allowed to dive deeper into a character's psyche, understand a little bit more about them. They'll be able to make a longer story. So it could very well be a better fit for him. And I think that'd be awesome. Because now, I mean, dude, the streaming and going to the movie theaters, it's there as far as production value, there's little difference to no difference. So it's not an insult like what's his name, John Boyega was like, oh, they ain't gonna Disney Plus me. Well, at that time, the mentality of these streaming ventures were different, and so he was looking at it as like a step down, but I think it's just a side step.
Yeah, it's a step up now. I mean, it's more. There's going to be more prestige for it than anything else because of the big streaming wars. Everybody's going to be putting out high quality content. It's a great time to be a fan because of the streaming wars, I think.
Yeah. So I have a pretty good topic that I want to discuss with you because you're pretty deep yourself. Let me get through some of these comments real quick. We had Bruce, we had Ray. Let me see. Sprite. Let's see. Bat Dan is back with yes. That night with alcohol is more than one time thing. Legit have a drinking problem. Well, we stand with you, Bat Dan, and hopefully Sprite will overcome. It was a funny night.
I can't drink right. It affects my stomach in negative ways. I don't know why.
See, I quit drinking Coke and Pepsi. I figured those are the worst. Those have to be the worst because they're the most popular, and that's what the masses drink is Coke and Pepsi. So those must have like the most horrible syrup you could ever put in your mouth. So I've said no more to Coke.
You're probably right, but I love Coke. I drink so much. Coke much of it.
It's like there's this nasty aftertaste, and anything that can take rust off of metal, I don't think it's good for your stomach.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, man. It's definitely not good for your stomach.
And these corporations don't care what you put in your body. They only care that you consume it. And give it to your kids. That's horrible. Make your kids drink water. Kids hate water for some reason. My kids, when they were young, they were like, "Ew, water, gross, no." Give me Gatorade or something with some sort of taste to it. And I was like, dude, you're made of like over what 70 some odd percent of your body is water anyway, dude. Get used to it. So
Dawson in the chat said Coca-Cola literally can dissolve pennies. He's right. It can.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, we have a great stomach, but I don't think that was meant for your stomach. So Akbar says, yeah, you missed some good streams, man. You missed some really good streams the past couple of days, especially with all the Ray Fisher stuff that we've been talking about. Let me see. Yes, you do need to catch up. Let's see. El Capitesiam, what's up, man? Thank you for best takes. I try my best. To provide the best takes I can. We got it skipped ahead. Hold on. We got Nerdy in here though. What's up, cool. You nerds?
Yes, so great to see
Dawson's in the house.
Yeah, happy Chat Monday tonight. Series. Can't wait.
Yeah, Nicotina's show is in the house. I think he's with his family today. Let's see. So he is. Where's Ryan? What? It did skip ahead a little bit. Yeah, Phil, I missed the stream yesterday. I was out driving my kids around, so I caught a little bit of Fatal J and Film Gob, and who else?
I caught a little bit of the Fatal J. I caught a little bit of the Fatal J earlier.
Yeah,
and then what I did, I had some things to do, so I went back and I went on Ray Fisher's Instagram page and watched the 15-minute video that Ray Fisher did so I could get the full context and what he was saying, because people kept posting stuff online where they would just take little snippets of what he said and post it. So I went back and watched the whole thing.
It's always best to get the full transcript.
I'm glad I did though, because I really liked listening to his entire monologue, thing. It was like he was monologuing the entire situation, and that was really good.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it as well. I'm like, he's the only one that's actually coming out and saying anything, right? DC isn't really saying anything. Warner isn't really saying anything. They have spokespeople that are saying things for them, and so it's good to get straight from the horse's mouth, as you would put it, information and it gives him credence. It gives him credit where everybody's trying to defame him and call him out. A lot of people are just they're such fans of Jeff Johns that they're like, please, Ray, take the take the L, or not the L, take the settlement, or take the which would be an L. It'd be a loss
compromise.
For him, take the compromise so that we don't lose out on this content. Because that's all we really care about.
It's like I said before, man. I believe that what it's going to all ultimately come down to, Ryan, is that he's going to, Jeff Johns, if he gets booted from DC, or all their business deals get terminated as a result of this Ray Fisher fiasco, he's going to jump over to Marvel, because we know he's like really, really good with Kevin Feige. So we know that's going to happen. I think that's
really
what they're worried about.
That playbook, because he's already taken the playbook.
Maybe not the playbook, but just that moving forward, Jeff Johns will do his business with Marvel instead of DC at this point.
And that could be the case. And you know what? That's fine.
Because I kind of hope it happens, to be honest, because I want him out of DC.
There's a lot of talented people out there who either haven't been discovered or are about to be discovered, or have been shunned, in the past or whatever. And I'm sure there's a lot of good art writers that have some compelling stories that they could tell. He's not the end all. He's not. I mean, it's this mentality, like we were saying on the last Deep Thoughts, is there's this mentality where like, oh my God, you can't get rid of this person, but it's like I was saying on Nicotina's show last night, it's like there's that one person that's like, oh, this job couldn't, they wouldn't be anything without me. This whole company would go under if they lost me, and then that person loses their job or gets fired or whatever it is, and the company still continues. The company thrives. The company is fine without you. It's that like, that self-importance,
but
which,
but at the same time, and I really think that it has to be said, a lot of people are making comments about how, it seems like Ray Fisher is blowing this out of proportion, that these are little things that happen, when you're on a film, if you're on a film project, there's going to be people that are going to mess with you, that you're not going to enjoy working with. You're not going to like everybody you work with. So it's kind of like some of the stuff that Ray Fisher's talking about, is par for the course when you work on a movie. Yeah. And in some ways, you can kind of see that point of view, but ultimately we know that there's more to it. Because Ray Fisher has gone and said numerous times that, he can't say everything. There's stuff that he won't be able to tell everybody right now. So with that being said, the stuff that he's saying is just like this, like surface level stuff. We're not getting we're not getting all of it. And that's the reason why everybody's scratching their heads saying, why the naysayers are like, well, what's he complaining about? He's a nobody. He's just a, just a low-level actor, and he's over here complaining over stupid stuff. Well, no, that's not the case. And I seen a video of a guy who professes to be Zack Snyder's his favorite director, and but here's the thing: the guy's a fan of Justice League. Ironically, he likes Justice League, and now he's making videos trashing Ray Fisher because he thinks that Ray Fisher is making stuff up because he's saying the stuff that Ray Fisher says doesn't make any sense. But it does when you think about it. Ray Fisher wouldn't be coming out saying all this stuff if it wasn't true. He's got no reason to make anything up at this point. So it's all about Jeff Johns defenders, people who covet Jeff Johns and want to make sure that Jeff Johns is still a part of DC. That's what they're worried about. It has nothing to do with whether Ray Fisher's telling the truth or not.
He has money that they have to pay him for Wonder Woman 84, Stargirl.
But I'm talking about people that are fans that are defending Jeff Johns.
Let me add another to the mix.
Here he is.
How you doing, Matt?
Sorry. I had the audio playing in the background. What's up, guys?
Good morning, Matt, or good afternoon, or whatever it is out in
good day,
morning, man.
Good day, yeah. Good day.
Labor Day, baby.
Good morrow.
Yeah.
Good morrow. Good morrow.
And let me add Tyler.
There's the guy. The man who left Twitter before I could ask him if he wanted to be on the Zod Rider show. I hate that. I was like, my God, Tyler, I want to get you on the Zod Rider show coming up tomorrow, but I didn't know how to contact you. I was like, well, gee.
Right before I left,
you got to use smoke signal. That's what I did.
Yeah. Well, right before I left everyone of importance. I left everyone my email and my phone number, so I thought you were one of the ones in the DMs.
Was I?
I thought so. I thought I added you, but if not, someone's got it.
All right, cool, because bro, yeah, no, I was like, oh no,
yeah,
I needed to find myself.
Okay.
So okay. I know that Matt has covered this extensively. But have you had a chance to sort of process all that happened this weekend, Tyler?
This weekend, what happened
with Ray Fisher? His Instagram tweet. Did you watch the 15 minutes? Because that's Zod and I were saying we watched the whole the message with it's in its entirety.
So he put out like a 15-minute video.
Yeah, he was walking, I guess. To the store or somewhere.
I saw like probably like 60 seconds of that. I didn't know it was 15 minutes, but I saw a clip of that. So yeah, I'm a little like, I'm not really sure what's going on. I have a general idea of what is going on, but if you guys could like fill me in on that, what's
Oh yeah, well then let me jump over to Matt. Since we've heard from Zod, go ahead and give us your take on this this little situation here.
You know, this is one of those situations because I know exactly what Ray's going through. I went through the same process, the same thing that Ray's going through. I've been through it, but just not. He's at a bigger level because it's more. Once you get into the public about it, then it changes everything, and the way that they're handling it. It's usually done in-house. Like, so if they're going to discredit you, they'll discredit you in-house. So other people are whispering and there's rumors and I can only imagine what it feels like to go to Warner Brothers this morning, or today's Labor Day. So probably tomorrow, when they go into work tomorrow and everyone's doing what they got to do, everyone's talking about this, from, the water talk, the lunchroom talk, or all the little fucking side chatter that happens on the production sets from other crews. It's very interesting to hear that. It's funny because when I first saw the statement from Warner Brothers come out, I was like, nah, this is a spin. This is a spin, because that means they don't know what the fuck is going on. The investigator gave them just blanket information that was not even relevant to anything that happened. And then what's great is that Ray Fisher does not care. He's like, fuck it, I'll put it out there. And he shows you the email. He shows you what happened. He even goes on yesterday and does, like I said, if you pay attention to his Instagram live feeds, he does them daily. Like, he'll just hang out. And yesterday, I didn't get a chance to check out his stream, but I guess he was thanking everybody for, supporting him and things like that.
Yes, yes.
It was interesting because he was very calm about it, which is what I figured his approach would be, because that's the best way to handle it, is to not be emotional, not take it, like a lot of people, like you say one thing on Twitter and people get sparked, it's like, boom, the whole world's upside down. I can think of a couple of people right now that if I tweet, I can get them upset. But
nerdy.
But it's interesting because he went in a way that wasn't attacking. He was putting out and laying out facts, and he's giving his perception, his truth of everything that he's doing on his end. And what sucks about this is that he was right. The person that put out that email is most likely going to be fired, or they're going to be demoted, or they're going to be removed, because now it's getting to the point where people got to understand.
So we're talking about a minimum wage staffer here.
Yeah, we're talking about
who just happened to put out who just happened to or maybe a PA, and she just happened to put the message out.
Yeah, that did not come from a president or somebody of power. That came from somebody that literally had multiple people in a legal room, in a PR room somewhere, with legal in the office, to write this really stupid like, whoever wrote that, I was reading it on my show and I was like, why the fuck would this sentence be in this statement? And everything I need is at the very end of this statement. So why am I reading all this other bullshit that doesn't mean anything to what is going on? Like, every section was completely different topics. It was like,
it starts off with like they're trying to like just use facts and like, validate themselves. And then at the end, they put their spin and bullshit and whatever, because that's where they want you to, they're sort of feeding you. They're leading you to the trough. And then they're saying, by the way, I also put some shit in the trough, but you've already been eating for the first 2 paragraphs. So it's already there,
Well,
and that's kind of what it is.
Like, this is how people read nowadays. They don't even read the full context. Like, if you read something, everyone's so addicted to this Twitter, and I call it the Twitter language, right? We're so addicted to short, paragraphed, abbreviated comments. So when people read it in its entirety, they're like, yeah, that's what that means.
Yeah.
They're not paying attention to what is actually being said. They're not connecting this section to this section. Because when you put out a statement, it should all be connective relatively to what you're talking about. This was not doing that. It was literally, hey, by the way, there's this. Oh, and there's this. Oh, did we talk about this? Yeah, I think we'll talk about this. Oh, and by the way, Ray Fisher, he's not doing what he's saying he's doing. Okay, bye. And that's pretty much what it was. And it's funny because even Ray laughed about it. Like, yeah, they tried to discredit me and it didn't work. And now they look stupid. They look like they got caught they got their hand caught in the cookie jar, and everyone's waiting now to see what's the next move by Warner Brothers. I don't expect anything today, but if something drops today, it's going to be rushed. It's going to be rushed out there. So I think they're going to take their time. They're going to wait because now legal's involved. And now whoever was in that PR room, they're out of the room. They got rid of them. They can't go to PR for that. That was a PR stunt. And I'm sitting here waiting for, like, I'm literally like waiting for the next episode of
yeah, I know this thing has been unraveling since July.
Exactly.
You know, with like little tidbits here and there for us to sort of pick apart, dissect. And it's interesting, but the good thing about this is that it's now a part of the conversation, is now a part of you know, somebody's forethought. You know, it's like, oh, okay, you know, I understand, you know, what's going on. You had so many people that were like discrediting Ray at the very beginning, like, oh, he's a prima donna or whatever, you know, just because they were like, well, it doesn't seem, you know, that doesn't seem plausible to me, so I'm just gonna go ahead and trash this guy, instead of kind of waiting around and saying, okay, let's see kind of where this leads. You know, what sort of information are we going to actually receive? What information is actually going to be put out there for us to sort of discern and decide, you know, okay, I mean, yeah, we're the court of public opinion, but you know, we are also a mouth or voice for you know, we're basically like the trades, but I think we're a little bit more influential than the trades.
And more balanced too. And people, you know, the people that are speaking out against Ray Fisher, and the people that keep saying that, you know, Ray's making this up, they all need to ask themselves one very important question, and that is, what's Ray Fisher's motive? I mean, think about this. Ray Fisher, he has no reason to make anything up, because at this point, think about it. He's back on track. You know, we're getting the Snyder Cut. He's going to have several opportunities to, you know, play Cyborg and maybe get other roles. He's got nothing to gain from doing this other than, again, his credo, which is accountability over entertainment. And the thing is if he was making it up, and he's not going to put himself out there unless there really is something deep and egregious in this situation.
Welcome, Dawson.
Damn, Ryan, you have all the clout right now. Look at all this clout you have right now, Ryan.
Yeah. He just added 8K. He just added 8K by you coming up.
Okay, well, Dawson.
What's up, Matt? What's up, Tyler?
Yo,
what's up, man?
So do you have a different perspective that you've had time to marinate?
About the Ray Fisher situation?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
Okay. Am I delayed a little bit?
You are delayed, yes.
Yeah.
Slightly.
Okay, let me refresh real quick, and I'll come back, and I'll put my thoughts in on that.
All right, right on.
Gotta check that
So I guess now that you've heard a little bit from Matt, Tyler, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting situation, because like the way I'm looking at it is with the whole Snyder Cut thing and everything, and now Warner Media, HBO Max, they've got the Snyder Cut coming out, and that's their big thing, their big project, and obviously they want it to be very successful, and then they want to do, you know, JL2 and JL3 possibly. And then you have Ray Fisher, who, you know, again, he doesn't care, and that's the beautiful thing about it is his career, it doesn't mean anything to him. He's, you know, again, accountability over entertainment he's like, it's a very interesting situation, because the Snyder Cut is at the top. HBO Max, like this is their baby, that like they're so excited to release this thing. And then you got Ray Fisher over here, who's just doesn't give a shit, and possibly wants, you know, they want to give him a Cyborg series. So I don't know. It's just it's a lot going on, a lot juggling. It's just go ahead, Dirty.
I have a pretty good question then for you guys. So now that we've gotten more information from Ray, do you think that he is actually that he cares to sign on to another project at this time, or is he just, he signed on to help out Zach, of course, because he has to sign off on his appearance or his likeness to be shown again. So he signed that NDA. Do you think that he signed on for more appearances, or do you think it's like, nah, I'm not going to worry about that right now because
I think he has a big
destroy
contract.
my credibility if I'm already lined up to do other projects?
Nah, he's got other projects.
Because that would be a way. I would think that'd be sort of a way that they could kind of dangle a carrot in front of me, like, do you want, you got you signed on? Well, do we want to show everybody that you're signed on to these projects, or is he just putting that on hold for now until this other thing is settled and complete?
I think he's got other projects, and that's why now he's cool. He can do all of this. He can fight this battle because he's got his contract for his appearances. I think he's set.
I think he feels protected because again, AT&T,
I believe that.
AT&T comes in now. They are the big cheese. They are in control of everything, and so Warner Brothers, they're under the control of AT&T now. So you got Ray Fisher over here that once was under the control of Warner Brothers, if you will, who's talking shit. But at the same time, it's like it doesn't matter if he's talking shit about WB right now because overall AT&T, they have the control.
Yeah, I think AT&T has his back. I think Zack Snyder has his back.
Yeah,
and like Prime was discussing with us last night, and we both sort of brought this up, was that it was the release of the Snyder Cut. It was. We actually, as a fandom, all of us here and all you guys in the chat who fought for Zack Snyder's work, is the reason why Ray is in the position that he's in to have some vindication. Because without that, if we had not been there, it would have just slipped into the darkness. No one would have heard, no one would have been the wiser. It wouldn't have been a thing, or it wouldn't have been such a big ordeal because Ray wouldn't have been. I don't want to say a water cooler talk or household name or anything like that. But he wouldn't have been on the tip of our tongues as we're discussing things, here on YouTube. I think that the Zack Snyder Justice League is a big catalyst for him to have this platform to do what he's doing, to bring these three individuals and more down.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say like Ray's looking for vindication. I don't think he wants vindication. Right. I think what Ray's after is ultimately what a lot of people are after. And I agree with him on this. And this is the part where a lot of people are confused. If you've ever worked in production, it's not the same. There's a difference when you get into this field. You have the element of office workers that work in the office that really follow a different structure. And then if you work in the production side where you're with the writers and the directors and the actors and then even the actors are a separate unity to that, because the production end is like the grips and all the people that work on set. And then you have the actors who are the talent who come in and they're working cohesively with the office and the execs and the production and the actors. And it's all one moving machine. But when you separate it, it's not a moving machine. It's like everything is separated, but when you're on set, everything's united in a way. And it's very political. It's very up and down. Everyone does their job. And I think for here, Ray is not trying to say, oh, just because I'm the talent, I can be talked to this way. Or just because they're production, they can be talked to this way. Because it happens. People get talked to in a weird way. And I saw a lot of people on Twitter, oh, get over it. Stop being a baby. It's like, no, bro. Like if you were to go work anywhere and somebody came to you and was making really fucked up comments to you, would you take it? Like, would you really take it?
No, and that's how I can identify with Ray's, because that happened to me at a job. And ultimately, just like he did, when he was working at the other job that he was referring to, that he was trying to unionize and things like that, I got fired. I was on the phone. My grandfather had passed away, and a person that I worked with, who was a peer, he was there. He had more tenure than me, and I was learning certain things from him for that department. And I was on the phone, and I'd already cleared it with my boss, because I had a personal call. And here he came in, it's like, what the fuck you doing? All this other shit, you sitting on, you're not, working or whatever. It's like, dude, number one, none of his damn business. Number two, You ain't talking to me like that. And so I took it to the higher ups, right? I wrote my complaint. I took it to I went through the chain. They treated me good for a little bit, but when they fired my boss, then they fired me. They were like, oh yeah,
because that was your only protection with that.
Yeah.
And you guys bring up a good point. I've seen a lot of people say on Twitter this phrase, and it drives me insane that people say this. It's like, this happens to a lot of actors all the time. People get treated like this. Some directors are a-holes, and that's how it is. It's like, well, just because that's the way it is does not mean that's the way that it should be. They're missing the point here. It's about accountability. It's about being morally correct and doing the right thing, not just simply doing it for the money. And again, just because it's normally done does not make it right. Just because it's done a lot does not make immoral things all of a sudden okay. That's just not how morality works.
I think what's happening here is it's okay. Like when you work on a production, you're like a family unit. So you're working with somebody, you're trying to get the flow of somebody. Some directors are not as nice as others. We've heard stories. And some actors, they're just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to make it a big deal. You know what? I'm just never going to work with this guy again. I'm never going to work with this person again. And they move on. We do it in real life. We do it with friends. I don't talk to some friends anymore because they're assholes and I choose not to be around them because they're negative. But at the same end of that stick, you know, it's still a professional working environment. So you're still going to treat them with a professional manner. But when you're on set, it's like emotions are flowing. People are putting their whole lives and creativity. It should feel like a home. But when you get an executive in the room, you're going to have to change. You're like flipping the light switch and you're switching caps. And in this case, Ray was very open. And this is the first time we got indication what was actually going on. We're not hearing it through a third party. There's no other person. There's no somebody else telling us what's going on. This is Ray Fisher telling us that Jeff Johns pulled him into his office, belittled him, threatened him. And now we know that he was using another actor to make him pretty much gloat in front of him by using two actors, black actors, no less, to go after each other and make it and start this battle war to kind of discredit Ray. And it didn't work. And Ray's number one response was, good luck to you, bro. My cyborg brother from another mother, you know?
Yeah. He's been in a way. He's been nothing but positive about the cyborg from the Doom Patrol. So that backfired on Jeff Johns.
And I love it how Ray Fisher in his live video on Instagram said, Warner Bros. Wants it to react emotionally, and so does a lot of people. One people want to use my emotions to try to discredit things that I'm saying, but he's not going to do that. He's just simply going to use facts. He's going to simply sit down, analyze everything that he has, because he has a lot of information, and he's not going to approach it emotionally, but with facts. And I love that he pointed that out.
Well, yeah, because they're banking on the emotions taking over and causing him to slip up somehow, because emotions are your strongest. It's stronger than intellect, right?
Yeah.
You sometimes you get so
we see that plainly on Twitter.
Fly, you go off the handle. You say things that you shouldn't have said, or you do things that you wouldn't have normally done. Versus if you take a step back and a breath, and you analyze something, you say, okay, what is the best strategy here? Then you keep your composure. You can still, it's what he is doing. He's playing chess, and he's masterful at it compared to them. They're playing checkers, and they're tripping up over themselves.
And I think all this, it goes back to the Snyder Cut. We knew that when they released that movie that it was going to change everything in Hollywood.
Right.
And look what's happening already. With other directors trying to come out, trying to get their movies out. And now you've got people, the cast, Ray Fisher, that's like, no, I'm not going to stand for this shit. So everything is changing just because of that movie getting released. So,
right. It changes the whole atmosphere of filmmaking, and it sheds the light on a lot of messed up stuff that sometimes happens within studios. And that's one thing that they didn't like, or that they didn't want to happen. I saw a really good tweet that pointed that out and said the reason that Warner Brothers didn't want to release it wasn't because they thought it was bad, it's because they knew that it would expose the things that they did. It would expose the things they did to Zack Snyder. And I thought that was really brilliantly said.
Yeah. And it makes sense because we need to really associate this and separate these two entities. Warner Brothers is not Warner Media.
Exactly.
When you talk Warner Brothers, you're not talking Warner Media. Warner Brothers is not even fucking CW. Like you got to separate these entities from each other and understand that they're separate departments, separate people that have separate presidents that run, separate CEOs that run those companies. And you got to understand that they're separated for a reason. And in this case, when people say Ray Fisher will never get work again, you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, because one, Ray Fisher is going to get more work because Warner Brothers is just one property. But at the same end of that stylist, Ray Fisher is not doing anything that makes him look terrible. They're trying to make him look terrible, trying to make him look uncredible. But right now he's looking more credible than a fucking studio. So Warner Brothers is now going to be taken over. It seems like AT&T, Warner Media, and they're going to come in. They're probably going to send people from Otter Media over there, be like, from another company, start shifting some of those people in to get people out and be like, all right.
Yeah, they should definitely gut Warner Brothers.
They're like, who dropped the ball? And then they're going to go to Ann Sarnoff and be like, Ann Sarnoff, what's going on? And Ann Sarnoff's like, I have no idea. Or she'd be like, I don't know what's going on.
Why hasn't AT&T lowered the boom already, though? They know what's going on. So what's the problem?
They probably want to get all the facts together before they're compiled.
I think what's happening is, and I really mean this, is there's one department making the decisions, but they're not talking to the rest of the people on the team because they have that approval themselves to make those executive decisions, to make these statements. They don't need to call higher up and be like, hey, we're going to make this statement. It's like, nah, you don't. You could just do it. Like if you're in that position, you can do it. So whoever's making these decisions to say, let's put this out there, you're going to see the backlash, and we won't see it, but we're going to see it. The only way we'll see it, because none of this is ever going to come out. Ray Fisher's story is never going to come out unless it gets to that point. We'll never hear the true story unless it gets to that point. So when Ray Fisher finally gets to that point, maybe he'll tell us. But Warner Brothers is going to let us know the changes that are happening internally, the moment we start to see the statement of their disclosures come out and their statements of language start to change. When they start using words like, we're still investigating, or at this time, we are no longer investigating, or a new party has now taken over, or Warner Media steps in and goes, we're investigating this from a third-party source that's going to be reaching out. Once that happens, because I have not seen Warner Media come out and actually say they have an investigation, they're probably doing the investigation and telling no one. And that is the number one tool right there, is this: you speak nothing about the investigation, because now nobody knows what's going on. And that's how investigators like it. I'm not going to tell you.
But wouldn't Ray Fisher be aware that Warner Media is involved? Because I'm getting the feeling that based off of what Ray Fisher was saying yesterday, that he feels like he was misled, because it looks like Warner Brothers is doing their investigation, but it's possible that Warner Media is kind of doing their own, covert operation and just not telling anybody.
Yeah, they are. And Ray Fisher tweeted today, an hour ago, he said, it really is a shame that Warner Brothers willfully chose to publicly undermine the seriousness of the toxicity and abuse that myself and others have reported to Warner Brothers HR and labor relations, which is a very serious department. They tried to minimize me as being an actor with petty creative differences. They failed. Accountability over integrity. But at the same end of that stick, he never once mentions Warner Media, but in his other tweet, he's thanking Warner Media and AT&T for taking this seriously, because they're probably doing an investigation. But Warner Brothers, again, is a different company. They're like, hey, fuck this. We're going to cover our tracks because I don't want to get fired.
Now, the thing is that, the light is going to shine on the where they've been trying to keep things in the dark, and it's going to come, and it's going to make them look even worse.
I have a feeling Walter Hamada is going to end up going as a result of all of this. I don't think this is going to look good.
It wasn't a good look for Walter.
I stand behind Walter right now, because there's nothing here that tells me that Walter Hamada did anything wrong.
From what I gather, I feel like
give up.
I feel like Ray was saying, hey, had a conversation with Walter. Walter said, because John Berg and Joss Whedon have zero to do with them. You know, they don't bring any money to the table. They're worthless to them. Who does bring money to the table is Jeff Johns. So, you know, Walter was like, hey, can we save Jeff Johns here? You know, can you allow us that, you know, the intellectual property that he is attached to, the money that we have to pay him, you know, or whatever, you know, it's just, it outweighs us letting Johns go.
Well,
you know,
thing
and so could we work out a deal, Ray? And Ray's like, no.
Well, one thing that Ray Fisher did mention in his live on Instagram was that when he talked to Walter Hamada and he was talking to him about,
hey, what's up, Dawson? Hey guys,
hey, what's up, Nicotina? And so continuing on with my point before I was so rudely interrupted by Nicotina.
I know, right? All right, so continue.
What are we talking about?
Well, listen to my comment and you'll know.
Okay, go ahead. Shoot, go.
But Ray Fisher mentioned in his live on Instagram that when he talked to Walter Hamada, he talked about some things that he was accusing Jeff Johns of, or just mentioning some things. And Walter Hamada has had friendly interactions with Jeff Johns, like for example, on the set of Shazam, as Ray Fisher mentioned. And Walter Hamada said like it just didn't sound like the Jeff Johns that he knew. So I think a big conflict with Walter Hamada is that he hasn't seen that side of Jeff Johns. So right now for him, it's a little hard to believe, but he has to like collect more of that information.
That's because Walter Hamada is not an actor. Walter Hamada is an executive. So the way you address an executive is going to be different from the way you address the actors or the director, or you know,
exactly.
If you're not going to put your worst foot, like, what's up, Walter? Man, get the hell out of my face, Walter. You know,
right. And so you know, it comes to a situation where like you're friends with somebody and someone tells you something about your friend that was either bad about them, and it's hard for you to believe because you've only seen positive sides about them. That's where I think Walter Hamada is, because again, like you said, Jeff Johns is going to interact with them a lot differently than Jeff Johns is going to interact with someone like Ray Fisher.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, Ray Fisher's on the low totem pole. He's not a big actor. He's not Tom Cruise. He can't walk into a room. He's not Ben Affleck. He's not Tom Cruise. He's not these star-studded actors like, you know, that come in. He's, you know, this is his first film.
He's not Matt Miranda.
Yeah, he's not me. But at the same time, he's not naive. He's not just pushover actor. And I think they're realizing that. Right. But on the same end, Walter Hamada is not doing anything that's jeopardizing his integrity at all. I think what Walter Hamada did was he used his personal experience to kind of cloud his judgment in an unrelated situation that kind of doesn't reflect Hamada in a way. I don't see it that way because
he was being an optimist. That's how I see it.
I working in department to protect his investment in Jeff Johns.
No, I think
what he's so much.
Yeah, he's trying to, like I say, he's trying to play both sides, but at the same end, he's using his personal experience. Like, let's say, for instance, you know, like I'm very good friends with Dawson. He's a great guy. We talk a lot, but however, somebody else might not see the same thing. There's like, no, Dawson's an asshole. He's a dickhead.
There's other words they use.
Okay, keep going.
keep going.
But at the same end of that, at the same end of that, what really reflects the work related situations that he's in? Is Jeff Johns a workable guy? Yeah, to the people he wants to work with, and he's very selective. So that tells me one thing. The thing that it tells me is that he's a two-faced individual. That means, if you're in control, I'm going to be your best friend. If you have no power or control, get out of my face. You mean nothing to me. So that tells me that his ego is being driven by wanting to be the center of attention or wanting to get more
and that
control
tactic that he used about you remember when he was saying, like, you know, your career is in my hands, so to speak. You know, I mean, that's not something that he came up with. That's something that that's a learned behavior. And he was like, I now have X, Y, and Z power. And therefore, that is something at my disposal that I can use because of the power bestowed to me. Thank you, Kevin Feige, for all the knowledge you've bestowed.
Exactly. And that was the point that I was trying to thank you, Kevin Feige. And one of the points I was trying to make last night was that this old rhetoric of how you handle the situations, may it be at any industry, in any workplace, it doesn't apply anymore. And we're seeing already in so many different realms of, let's quote unquote, the workplace, that the HR is being handled with a much more is being much more strict. You have to follow protocols, and you can't just do what you normally would do in the past to make these things go away. Because now there is a protocol that has to be followed and has to be met in order for these things to be resolved properly. You can't
I think
just,
Ray is setting a standard. I think that he is helping people that are coming behind him, because a lot of people were like, well, like Matt was saying earlier, is like, oh, I can't, I'm just going to let it slide. I'm not going to deal with this person.
It's just the way of the beast. And
right. I'm just going to let it. I'm just going to let it ride. Because I don't want to jeopardize my career. But then you're going to have some of those people, because of Ray Fisher, and be like, no, he got treated like shit, so therefore I don't need to be treated like shit. I'm gonna try to see if I can follow the same pattern.
If you use the example of like Matt, for instance, if you're teaching a class and there's a student that wants to get an A, and you're like, well, and that's not allowed.
So you're talking about the casting couch.
The casting couch, yeah. But I'm saying
there's just certain level of expectations that need to be set. And
I think what I'm saying is that if that person comes out and says, hey, I was treated unfairly by this individual, you cannot go and confront that person and say, hey, look, or let's say your boss can't call this person and say, hey, look, I know Matt's a really good guy. He would never do this. I think the other guys are bad.
Well, actually, yeah, you can. I mean, that's called facilitating. You're trying to facilitate a situation prior to it getting bigger to the next step. And so every company would love to facilitate a situation.
Oh, no doubt.
Because if you don't do that, you're not doing your job. So the worst thing that can ever come from situations of investigations is if we can't facilitate this. I think what Walter Hamada should have done was to call Ray Fisher in with his representative, call Jeff Johns in with his representative. Let's sit down and have a conversation. What's really going on here?
I agree.
And I don't think that was done. I think what happened was they called Ray, and Ray's all for it. And then they called Jeff, and Jeff's like, fuck him. I don't give a shit. I don't want to talk to him. I'll talk to you, but I'm not going to talk to him, which is that ego-driven mentality that I think I'm better than everybody else in the room, and I don't need to listen to him because he's just some no-bid actor that we already replaced with another cyborg. And I'm gloating about it. I mean, I don't need to talk to him. And I think that's what happened. There was no facilitation because
that's exactly the reason why Jeff Johns needs to be completely let go. Why they need to sever their relationship with him, because he's let it all go to his head, and now he thinks he's Darth Vader. So it's time for him to.
And Ryan brought up a good point about what people expect Ray Fisher to have done, or what they tell him to do. Like, oh, just get over it, just let it go. It's interesting. That's such a microcosm of so many things that are messed up in Hollywood. Like all these things people are complaining about come down to things like that, where crappy things happen to them. They don't say anything for the sake of their careers. And then a couple years down the road, all of a sudden it's revealed, like, holy crap, some messed up stuff was happening. So what Ray Fisher's trying to do is he's trying to stop those things.
And we know these things have been happening in Hollywood for years.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, due to just cases in the past couple years in recent years. Right. I mean, goodness gracious.
I had brought up, just even that little tiff that, what's his name? Christian Bale had. And somebody in the chat said, oh, don't bring that up. And I was like, but it happened. Even though he apologized for it, it still happened. It's still an example of how somebody can abuse their power and treat someone else, by berating them.
Exactly.
On set. It's not, that's not kosher. That's not cool. That's not the way that you should be handling yourself.
And here's the thing. People keep saying, like, oh, it's a high stress job. Like, yeah, sure. There's a lot of high stress jobs out there, but a high stress job still does not give you the right to be a jerk to everybody.
Yeah.
It does not give you the right in any way, shape, or form in any job. Like I had a simple job just a couple years ago in like a restaurant, right? This is a very simple, relatively low stress job compared to a lot of other jobs, but a lot of things that happened in that job stressed me out. You know what I did? I went to work. I did what I was supposed to do. The people there treated me right. So there's nothing really to complain about as far as the management was, but it still stressed me out. I didn't treat anybody like trash. I didn't do that. And neither did my bosses. So any job that is out there has a certain level of stress. And again, no reason whatsoever, no justification for being a jerk for anybody, no matter how powerful, no matter how rich and how influential you are.
Touche.
Well, I mean, you got a good point there.
And that's exactly it. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, if we sit here and we wonder or speculate, and I'm seeing a lot of it happen on Twitter because that's where Twitter thrives.
Right.
Is everybody is saying all these negative things that Ray Fisher, stop acting like a baby. I think Ryan was mentioning this, or just deal with it, move on. You're never going to work again.
Yep.
You're never going to do this. And then we see the articles. For me, I don't know the full story of Ray Fisher, but knowing my own personal experience and using my own experience and working in these situations, working in these same areas, I am putting together what I know is what they're doing. Because one, you got to understand the labor board and how they work. Because now you've made an accusation where it didn't get facilitated properly. So they're probably asking that question. Did anybody ever talk to each other? Did you guys ever try to do this? And then they're like, yeah, we did. It didn't work. All right, what's the next step? What's the next step? Now they're investigations. To see Warner Brothers do a third-party investigation just because you hired somebody outside of the company to do it, that's going to report back to Warner Brothers legal. That's not third party. That's first party. Plus that's a confirmational bias, guys.
Yes.
The company that's being investigated is hiring the investigator. That's a bias. That's not how it should work.
It's a conflict of interest is what it is.
Yeah. You have to do it sourced out, right? Like,
here's the end goal. Here's how we need you to here's the end result that we need. Go get it for us. And if Ray is dumb enough to fall for it, then we have good footing.
Well,
we have
he fucking wasn't, because he ended that Zoom call pretty damn quick. The moment he found out that, wait, hold on.
The fact that Warner Brothers is the
I work for Warner.
So the fact that Warner Brothers
what?
is the
Warner
ones that
Brothers.
hired the investigator and the ones that are conducting the investigation. It's like if you have a court case where there's a defendant and what's the other side? I keep forgetting it.
The plaintiff,
Prosecution
and the defendant. It's almost as if you hire the same lawyer for both people, but that lawyer is hired by the prosecution.
No, yeah, and we get back to the same. It's basically what this is it's the roundabout of bullshit, right? So it's the smoke screen, and a lot of people say it's not a smoke screen, but the biggest smoke screen of all, and your biggest tool, if you're in media, your biggest asset is the trades. If I can get people to have the trades to go after me or use stuff in a certain way, and this is why I say, if you want to know what trades to follow and what trades not to follow because of their bias, I have a premiere going on right now, and I'm actually watching it on the side.
That's so awesome. I saw that earlier. I was like, wait, he's here and he has a premiere.
He just got done watching
These
Tenet,
two
and
places at once.
with us.
You're like a superhero, man. You can
I
jump
don't want to talk about Tenet. I don't want to talk about Tenet. I haven't seen it yet. The theaters aren't open where I live. I can't go see it. Dawson's seen it. Ryan's seen it. I can't see it. It's killing me. Matt, I don't know if you drove to San Diego to see it. I heard San Diego theaters are open. But
I'm gonna go to Sacramento. I'll be in Sacramento to go watch it because our
Matt's called Captain Multicast. That's what he is. Captain Multicast. Multicast Matt.
Multicast.
Nerdy, you need to superhero Matt, and that's his superhero name is Captain.
I just need that for everybody. Just have Captain Couch. Or,
Captain Couch.
That's right, Captain Couch.
Whoa.
With his flowing red cape behind him.
So there have been another couple articles that have come out from
not wearing pants.
Unscrupulous sources will say that when they're discussing the Flash script, right, and how Ray is not happy with the way the character is being portrayed, or his character in the Flash script. Is that just another spin, but a different angle? Because it has nothing to do with this. It's just sort of trying to frame him in a different light with a different circumstance.
Yeah, because what you're doing is you're changing. So this is called the spin argument. So this is an actual fallacy where everybody's going in one direction, and then you bring up another topic that's unrelated. So you're pulling straws in an unrelated situation, and you're trying to get people to divert their attention from one to the other. So if it's Ray's Ray's not going to be talking about his case.
That's why you're always in the tent,
right? But at the same end of that, it was great to see Ray Fisher today say, like, why would I get upset over petty things like creative differences? It happens all the time.
Cool.
So I'm looking at this as it has nothing to do with the creative decisions of saying booyah. It has everything to do with whatever happened in that room with Ray Fisher and Jeff Johns, but also on the set with Joss Whedon. From what we heard from Kevin Smith, a lot of what was said with a lot of crew members is they were pissed off with Jeff Johns. They didn't want to work for him because of all the rude comments and sexual innuendo jokes he would make.
Yes.
There's other people on set that Ray's even talking about that they're trying to protect. He's trying to protect other cast members. Like he's made it very known that
he knows there's
people
actors
involved
that don't have as much like prominence and don't have as much ability to like protect themselves that he cannot name. It's a simple, like, again, I'll compare it to a court case. You have someone who's a witness who cannot protect themselves and they're supposed to testify against somebody who's very dangerous and very influential. That's not going to bode well for them if they're exposed until it's needed and they can be guaranteed protection.
Yeah, and Ray's not going to go through all this just for himself. There's got to be a lot of people behind him that are just literally right behind him, like he said in his video, that are calling him out and saying, "Hey, you're doing a great job."
He even said, he alluded to the fact that there's a lot of big people behind him that they don't know. They don't have all the facts. So they don't know who Ray has to back him up. So that's another thing. I mean, he might be talking about like we're talking about super big names. He might be talking about a Henry Cavill or Ben Affleck or somebody that, you know, or people that actually do have clout in Hollywood. So it's, you know, it's crazy. I mean,
well, you know, people in Hollywood, they think they can get away with murder. They can do like whatever they want. People that have more money, I mean, you see it with all the sex offenders and all that shit that's been going on for years and all that stuff, the Me Too movement. So then you take Ray Fisher, who his first ever movie is being directed by Zack Snyder. Now we know that he's such a gentleman. He's such a nice guy. Like, you know, even I think
he's so loyal too. He's loyal to his.
And my last day on Twitter, there was a chick that was on
the last day.
She's gonna be in the Army of the Dead. She's like an extra or something like that. And she was talking about how Zach was so nice to everyone, the whole staff, asking you if they needed stuff, are you okay? Like Zach's atmosphere when he's making a movie is completely different than a bunch of these other directors and producers. So that's what Ray sees. His first time on a big budget movie, he's with Zack Snyder, and Zach's treating the cast so special, so nice. Yeah. It's a beautiful experience. Like just everything is going great for him.
And then he and Chris sit down with him. They hash out this character, and then Joss comes in and is like, I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah. So and it's the same thing with working,
I did the Avengers. What did you?
Yeah. I was in Jaws.
Where did you grow up? On a farm?
You know what's funny is I was watching Toy Story the other day with my son, and I saw that Jeff Johns was a writer for Toy Story.
Oh no!
No,
I mean, he's not a bad writer.
No, not Jeff Johns. Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I think he helped write the screenplay for that for Toy Story Part 1.
I thought that.
Like, where can we put some sexual jokes in here?
Well,
but yeah. Anyway, I mean So Ray is, you know, his first ever time on a movie set, and it's with Zack Snyder, and everything's just going great. And then you see what happens to Zack, and then this guy comes in. He's like, no, you shouldn't be treating me like this. The guy.
Well, we haven't heard anything negative from True Detectives, so. They, you know, I mean, again, that's Zach and the director of, you know, or directors, however many, because it's episodic, right? Of True Detectives, he didn't have a problem with any of them. He's only having a problem with this one situation. Yeah. You know, and, you know, unfortunately, it's a huge movie. It's a huge, you know, I mean, these are big. John Bird, Joss Whedon. These are heavy hitters. This isn't like, you know, your you know, Kathy Yen.
And I think another big thing is that people say like yes, this is Ray Fisher's first movie being Justice League, but it wasn't the first time that he's worked with people who have directed a show. Like he was in Broadway, he was in other performances where you have a director of what's going on. So he's worked with people that has been in charge of him. And like you said, Tyler, Zach's such a nice guy, and it kind of elevated the expectation of a director for Ray Fisher compared to a lot of other things he's seen. And then he sees Jeff Johns, and obviously, like Ryan was saying, that compared to the directors of True Detective, as well as directors, of course, in Broadway and other performances he's been in, he's just like, yeah, it's pretty messed up. So people got to keep in mind that this is not just simply a one versus one, director versus director kind of thing. That's not how it is.
Yeah.
Well, they want to keep jobs, and I think you call the comment you have on here. You call me Joker. I think you commented on one of my videos as well. I didn't understand the comment too much, but I get what he's saying. They do want to protect Johns because Johns, but the thing is, it's a business decision. They don't like Johns. Let's just put it out there.
Yeah.
Nobody likes Johns, but Johns has his hands in a lot of properties.
Yes, his name is attached to for royalty purposes.
Yeah. Now, if this was the other side of the situation, those IP properties, they bring in money, and this is a business, and we're trying to build capital, and I don't want to lose that capital, so I got to find a way to facilitate this situation. Hamada is trying to do that. He's like, well, let me figure out what's going on here. How bad was it? You know, and that didn't work, so they're moving to the next stage. Again, I don't know. I don't think Hamada is trying to protect Johns. I think he's trying to protect the company because that's your job. Your job is to protect the company. Like anybody that works in that position, you're going to be told, hey, by the way, what's best for the company? Like, can we do a way to where we can get Johns on the outside of the company, still make profit from products from his IP, and at the same end, you can be, you know, facilitated. We'll give you another property. You could do another show, another movie. That happens a lot in Hollywood. But that is happening. Jeff Johns was pushed to the side. He's in Mad Ghost Productions, which I still think the website has not been updated since he was removed.
I don't think I think it still has that old information.
No, it has not. It has not. Yeah.
And so if he's over there doing his shit, right? And then his shows, all his shows were just removed from the DC Universe app that he started, by the way, that the DC Universe app is turning into nothing now. It's pretty much dwindled down into it's going to be a comic website. It's for you to watch digital comics and all that stuff. And all the properties have been moved to HBO Max because AT&T came in and said, no, let's fucking make a new app. Everyone's doing streaming. Let's get into the streaming game. Let's actually do it. And they did HBO Max with Warner Media, and Warner Media is fucking booming right now. And Jeff Johns is over here.
HBO Max is an amazing app.
Yeah, it is. And you got Jeff Johns in the fucking private sector now, working independently in relation to Warner Brothers with a contract. But the only thing he has on his table is fucking CW Stargirl. That the budget for that went down. Like they completely knocked that budget down. That was supposed to go to HBO Max, but then they decided to push it into CW.
Yeah. And
that's where he sits. He sits in the television realm.
This has happened to, or this should be happening to Warner Brothers.
Yeah. You should just replace the Warner Brothers with Jeff Johns' face, because you know a lot of it.
All his people are the he runs that side, or he's got so many loyalists on that side. Yeah, they should just give it to him completely. Here you go, Jeff Johns, Warner Brothers. Yes. Yep.
I mean, you really got to look at what's good for the company. And I saw Comic Book Craig's comment, you know, Matt's starting to sound like Lumberg. But when you get into this area and you're making money, this is a household name, Warner Brothers. When you hear
you
Warner
have
Brothers,
to think about a business like. You have to think about it that way.
You know, you're thinking of like Looney Tunes. You're thinking of all these properties.
Looney
Batman,
Tunes.
Superman.
Hold up. There you go.
Bugs Bunny.
I'll share this. So
Porky
this
Pig.
is something I worked on.
Oh boy.
You like that?
Oh shit! It's better than that Green Lantern guy on Twitter, though.
And this is another one I worked on.
Oh, that's cool.
Hey.
Awesome.
That's
Yes.
cool.
Wow.
Yeah, you just brought up Looney Tunes. I was like, oh,
Ryan,
hey,
right
that's
now.
the way I
No.
can bring that in.
Yeah.
You have it, Nicotina. You have it.
I'm gonna send you one too, Ryan.
Okay. But I guess
Let's all
back
sit
on-
in silence until you can bring that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Nicotina.
Let's make it as awkward as possible for him.
So, what do you guys think
I know.
of this? Is this thing going to get delayed because John's, or is this the reason why they're changing it from Flashpoint to a Flash multiverse movie? Because they're trying to steer away from Jeff Johns' influence, because he created, did he create the Flashpoint arc?
He did not create the Flashpoint arc.
Okay, he didn't. Okay,
But
so I've heard that. I've heard that. So
He did not create the Flashpoint arc, guys. Fucking film Twitter is the funniest shit in the world. Or comic Twitter is funny. Comic Twitter
Dog
is
is like
funnier
smacking
than-
my camera right now.
But Jeff Johns has stake in the Flash project.
Mhm.
So he's a part of that. And so I can't go into the specifics of what I was told, but I could just say that this is one of those moves where it's like, if you don't play ball, we're going to have to remove you from the Flash. We're sorry about this, Ray, but we're going to have to remove you from the Flash. And it's like, the fuck? I don't give a shit. Like, you think you're going to dangle that in front of me? Like, they baited him with that and it didn't work. They tried to catfish him and that shit wasn't happening. You know, you're saying that you're this beautiful person and all of a sudden you find out to be this evil tyrant.
Just be a good boy and then you'll be in our movie. Just be a good boy.
But now, this is the funniest shit in the world. One, it confirms the Cultured Nerd article was 100% correct that Ray Fisher was attached to the Flash picture. And the second thing is Warner Brothers put it out there. So now think about this from a public view. The moment you removed Ray from the Flash now, you've now blacklisted the film. Because now fans are expecting to remove him. Ray Fisher. He's already in the picture. So if you remove him because you disagree with what he thinks and what he's trying to do, and you just want to get retaliation by removing him from the movie, you're going to blacklist yourself. Warner Brothers is going to even look even worse. And people aren't going to go watch the film because of that. You're going to lose more money in certain areas. You might not lose a lot, but you're going to lose fans that aren't going to want to watch that movie because Warner Brothers decided to put that out there and dangle it in front of them, but didn't work because it backfired. And it's like, oh shit, we put it out there. So if we remove him, we're going to look bad. Shit, now we got to put him in the movie. Well, you can't have this picture, but we're not going to tell you what it is. You know what I mean? Like they're going to move to the next step. And it's whoever's doing the PR for Warner Brothers. I mean this with a lot of sincerity. You're a fucking idiot. Like you're fucking really stupid. Like somebody fire that guy or woman or whoever's in that role. Get him out.
You know, it's like when you corrected yourself there. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, Matt, it's probably a woman.
Oh
yeah. I'm like,
I'm
not part of that. I'm not part of that. Well, I know it's a fucking computer AI.
Well, that could be it too. That could be it too. A computer AI. Yeah.
Matthew Broderick, the war games, the game.
Oh wow!
Would you like to play a game?
It's all automated.
Okay, Ryan, do you have the photo?
Yeah, I have it. Hold on one second. I'm trying to fix it to where I can put it on here because it saved it as a weird file. So talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. So it's I sent Ryan a picture. It's an exclusive that I was able to dig out. That's the deal with the Green Lantern. So once he puts it up there, it's going to be pretty impressive what you guys are about to see right now. Because it's somebody else who's
I have to agree. It is impressive.
Pretty impressive.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
Ryan's gonna change it, isn't he?
What?
He's gonna insert something.
No.
I totally guessed what you were doing, didn't I?
What? I don't even know how to manipulate.
That's the most guilty what I've ever heard in my life.
All you have to do is share screen. Just share the screen, and now you're doing something.
Right.
Your screen is like flashing in your face. I'm like, okay, he's obviously
file.
I want him to play that clip where he's spinning, like the cartoon version of himself.
Yes.
Like it's Ryan. Like I fucking love that. I love that take.
What? Oh yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess. Oh no, I don't have it on here.
Oh, come on. Wow.
Yeah, I don't have it on here.
You don't have good take, Ryan?
No, because that's nerds. I don't save it under my own stream. I have separate files
for both, man. Gotta be prepared.
Yeah,
I have everything uploaded on there. Anyhow,
really? I don't know. See, the thing is, I don't know how many files you can.
You could do a lot
because they don't show. They don't show you how much you can put in your folder.
Trust me, I have a lot on there.
He would have hit the level or limit by now if
it
was.
I have seen your stream. I'm just like, I don't need that anymore. You know, like Cuss Long video, I don't need that anymore. But I still have it, it's just not on the StreamYard. Ryan, what are you doing? Now you're just making this weird.
He's gonna put his face on it.
I have a question for you guys. I don't know if you guys would know this or not, but so you know how they were teasing for DC Fandom, they were teasing the 2 secret movies. Mm-hmm. And then on day 1 for Fandom, there was nothing said. Well, I made a video today and someone was saying, no, they talked about the 1 movie, which was a Static Shock movie. Is that true, or is that?
They originally wanted Static Shock, and that was the reason why Will Smith and Jada Pinkett were in 2 DC-related films, because they were supposed to have their son portray Static Shock. Okay. And then something happened with that, fell under, or
And now their daughter's gonna play Static Shock. Is that
maybe.
what's gonna happen?
Maybe.
And she's gonna whip her hair back and forth, and whip her hair back and forth, and whip her
There
hair
you
back
go.
and forth.
Right, they're gonna gender swap Static.
Nah,
Shock.
that's an entanglement. We don't want to do that.
No, we don't want to do that.
Oh,
So-
Ryan, why is it taking so long to share a photo? What is wrong with you?
guys.
Here, you want me to do it? I'll share a
No.
screen.
All right, fine.
You look bad
He's
either
stopping
way
all the
now.
pop-up ads.
All right, here it
Yeah.
is.
Oh,
There it is.
Wow,
That's what
you're
you're
like a
doing.
McDonald's character. Like you're gonna go steal some French fries or something.
I like how I have
Wow.
a green hand.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
green
yeah.
hand.
Yeah, it means you got a 12-pack and everything.
Oh,
Now
man,
share the
I was
original
gonna-
one.
I was
Play
trying
from
to
the
put
beginning.
Sapphire emblem
Yeah.
on the chest, but
That's
you
right.
guys
Play from the
are-
beginning.
You play for the Hey Andre.
He's like, I don't have the original. I just drew over it.
Yeah, just
He didn't even
basically-
save it.
while you're stalling, you were bad for one of two reasons. Either you were terrible at using StreamYard and not able to get a picture up, or you were editing somebody's photo to make it what you want it to be.
yeah.
Either way, you look bad, Ryan.
Well, you can see his screen flashing on his face. So I'm like, he's doing something right now.
Oh man, I'm all sweating over here trying to get done.
I know.
Come on, hurry.
You just got done watching Cops.
Yeah,
God.
That's
but
so awesome.
Oh man,
yeah. So here's the actual photo of
there it is.
Mr.
That's-
Green Lantern.
that is.
I prefer
100%
this.
No. Now, you guys,
That's
this
better.
is 100% leaked set photos.
From Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Jeff John's Green Lantern Corps.
This is the
From
next
Zack
Berlanti.
Snyder.
Yeah, that's got a Jeff Johns kind of a Jeff Johns feel to it.
Hey, I drew that. Come on.
As you can see in the
Hey,
photo,
well, you know what?
Oh,
Hey,
you drew
maybe
that.
Jeff
Oh.
Johns can hire you,
Oh,
Dawson.
we're sitting like destroying it. Well, here's something I drew.
We'll change sides. Oh, there you go.
And,
That's
I
awesome.
submitted that to the fandom thing, but I never saw it. I was like, oh well.
they were like, "Oh, screw this guy."
Like Boss Logic.
Screw Boss Logic.
Anyway,
He's got
so
nothing on you.
here's something else that I did.
Boss Logic's got nothing on
Wow.
Ryan. Yes.
Look at that,
Oh,
Tron,
there you go.
Mario.
Wow.
I love that. I love that cover art.
Wow.
So, and then this
All
is
right,
what I thought for Blue Beetle. I thought that this would be a really cool emblem. You know, you take
Yeah.
like Aztec it up, but then also give it a little bit of a tech feel
For the Blue Beetle animated movie.
CGI
CGI animated.
be live action. That'd be awesome.
Or think about like a Blue Beetle animated series done in the cell shaded kind of style of like that Tron Legacy TV series.
Well, hey guys, I got to dip out. I got a class in 45 minutes that I got to go to. So,
teacher class in 45 minutes.
On
See you
Labor
at
Day?
Happy Chat tonight, bro.
yes.
Happy Chat.
Yeah,
Tune in
I
tonight's
also
7:30.
got
We know that there's only 8K people out there that have subscribed to you already, but the other million people
Only 8K.
we find
only 8K.
Yeah, anyway, so tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Anyway.
Check out Cheerful Chat Monday, episode 6, the I Disagree edition. It's going to be a fun time, and we're going to change things up a little bit for this episode. It's going to be fun.
Disagree.
And check me out at this name right here, Nerdy Many Ways, and I am W32 on Twitter and Instagram. And peace out, Seacrest.
All right, I got to go too, you guys. So thank you for having me on.
Oh yeah, man.
can
No problem. Thanks for jumping
You can-
on, bro.
Damn, I
And
guess I should
Tyler,
just do.
Tyler, it was so nice to see you again. And when I was watching it earlier, I saw Zod Rider, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I gotta get on." And then I saw Matt, and I was like, "Oh man, I really need to get on." And then I saw Dawson. I'm like, "Oh my god!" And then I saw Tyler. I was like, "That's it, everybody, Galloway." This is
He punched his
I
own
have to
kid.
get on right now. Yeah.
His kid was
Punch
in a
my
way.
time
He
card.
punched it.
Well,
Yeah,
so
they're here with me
disagrees.
right now. Oh, I
There's
disagree.
Phil.
Do it, Ryan. Do it. Hit it. The weed and cut.
I'm not on 4 nerds. I don't have it.
How do you?
Whoa, you don't have it at all?
Not on this one. I don't intermingle the clips. I don't use nerdy or for nerd stuff on my streams, and I don't use my stuff on the for nerd streams. I keep them
Do you have
separate.
to upload them every time?
I have different like if I wanted to change out the brand.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Oh yeah, you can have two different.
Like,
yeah.
oh, we're on Star Wars now.
Oh, it's like Fatal
Oh,
J,
yeah.
you know.
Or, yeah.
Guys.
This other one, or I have the Four Nerds. Oh, look, we're on Four Nerds.
Matt took off. Now there's 4 of us.
Or we're doing Fandom again, I guess. So, but yeah.
All right.
So
There
that's
it is.
kind of how I have everything separated because I didn't know how many clips and pictures and
There's
things like
the ZEEVERFETT.
You weren't
And I-
expecting that many people on your deep thoughts for today. You just weren't expecting
No.
this.
I wasn't. You know what? I am blessed to have friends like you guys, man. It is awesome. You guys are all wonderful people, man.
Appreciate
And
it.
everyone in the
Same to
chat
you.
Appreciate it, man.
chiming in. So it's
All right.
such an honor.
Well,
And
you
with
guys.
that-
Oh, you're
no,
gonna end the whole thing?
Let me go ahead and kick out Nicotina. I'm just joking.
I don't know if you guys are gonna end this or not, but I got to get going.
Me too.
Tyler, it was nice to see you again. Matt, always.
Yeah,
Nice
man.
to see you.
And Nicotina,
And then
Tyler, I love you guys.
Nicotina.
Are you ending the stream or am I just leaving?
You're just leaving.
Okay, I'm just leaving. Hey, and you guys follow me on Twitter at Nicotina Nicotina _show or on YouTube at the Nicotina Show. I'll be back on Tuesday night, and hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. Probably not because you're all probably in bed, but still, it's worth saying and worth mentioning. So, all right, you guys, I will see you later. Thank you.
See you
Thanks
later.
again.
Peace,
No,
brother.
I'm actually ending the stream. I just want to. So, go ahead, Tyler. Let us know where you can find us.
Well, you can't find me anywhere right now on social media. No, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, obviously YouTube, and also have a Vero account. So yeah, you can find me on there, and I've kind of been all over the place with posting my videos, but I will be doing a live stream Friday night before Fandom. So if you guys want to pop on there or come join me, that will be fun. So yeah.
Awesome.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
All right, man. So Matt, where can we find you on Lightcast? Are you
Online.
still, is your thing still playing now?
Yeah, it's still going. We're
So
talking
right
about
after
Zack
this,
Snyder
go-
right now.
Go over to Matt and finish watching his and boost
Yeah.
up. You-
We're talking about Zack Snyder and how Vero
Zack
was
Schneider.
the primary tool in the release of the Snyder Cut campaign.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Yes. No. That I mean, it definitely did help Vero out a
Oh yeah.
great deal. Because it was just another platform, just another. I mean, because I had one, I worked on one, and it didn't really go anywhere. But I still worked on the app, so it's pretty cool. It was called Urban Cam. You can actually find it on the Apple Store, and I think
I'm
you
gonna
can,
download it.
Yeah.
it's just I don't know if anybody uses it, but all the artwork was from me.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So,
What's it
yeah,
called?
I themed it out, so it was but
Urban
I
what?
did it. So I'm not a coder.
What's it called?
Urban Cam.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it was a platform very similar to Vero. We were going to have photos and videos and things like that you could share. We were going to promote that it wasn't going to have ads and things like that, and
Yeah.
just we didn't have any financial backing, so it just kind of it's there, but nobody's going to use it. So we have a couple other ideas for different apps that we might delve into, but for right now that's a completed app, and I'm just happy to have something completed that's out there.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet.
Awesome.
But nobody uses it, so that's all.
Yeah.
It takes time sometimes.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. So as Oddrider, where can we find you?
You can find me Thursday nights on the Four Nerds on YouTube, 7:30 p.m. and on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Zod Rider Show. And you could probably find me on multiple streams with you guys and on Twitter at Zod Rider. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, Catch, are you going to be on the happy fucking chat Monday? If you get on Dawson's stream, you have to cuss it up. That's the only thing. He will not let you on the stream unless you cuss it up.
Done.
Gotta use as much vulgar language as you can for Dawson's stream. So the show.
I'm expecting Anthony to curse enough for all of us.
Anthony's on the road. He wasn't on the show right now. He said he was driving, so he's I guess he's going home. But yeah, because he was at a motel or something like that for the past couple of days, out of town doing his thing. So, but man, hey, again, thank you guys. Damn you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for listening and sharing in the comments section. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. If you don't think you think you've already subscribed to me, check and make sure anyway, because I see a lot of people that have been there for the longest time, and I see them as new subscribers, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe that's because they didn't think that, or they already thought that they were subscribed. So just do me a favor, check it out real quick, and thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it from everyone here. See you next time.
Peace.
Peace.